Well, I think we're getting into the most exciting part for some people anyway. We're about to hit up the attackers. I'm going to say, is there anyone you want to speak about first, bro?
Let's go for the wingers. Let's go for the wing before we make our way to the tippy top. I'll go with Saka. Let's just get right wing out the way. Saka's been excellent. Saka's been a 9. Saka has to stay. He's a key. Fam, it's straightforward with him. Yeah. Like, again, his goal tally, his assist tally, like he's and then kicked on again to the next stage of his career. He's earned a big contract now. You know, Saka proved to them that this isn't another Aubameyang Ozil scenario, and you know, you're now going to show us why the next contract have to be 400k, 500k.
Trust
like,
me.
You know what I mean? Like, because the talent is there. He has overplayed this season. That's the one negative. Arsenal have overplayed him. England have overplayed him, and it did tell on him towards the back end of the season. But the guy's fantastic. Like, he's literally, you know, at times, like we're just saying, Odegaard carried us, you know, maybe for the past 2 years now at this point.
At least.
So he deserves everything he's getting his way. But now I think for us to maintain Saka's level and to allow him to build on that, it needs to be a process of, you know, creating rest for him.
Yeah.
Bring in that able second person if that's what you're going to do, or trust who we have already in the ranks, and let Saka get a rest at times, because that's the only way we're going to get the best out of him if he's kind of overexposed, because he is still a young guy. He's not like a 25, 26, 27 year old. You say he's a fully formed man. You see what I mean? So his body might still be a bit knackered from everything he's been doing. But keep Saka. I'll give him 9 just because we ain't win nothing, so I can't be
This is why you're my guy. 100%.
Yeah, it's a 9. It's a keep. Let's go again next season.
Yeah. I mean, nothing much to add. Like I said, 9. Obviously, keep. Big contract signed. He stepped up a level. I think it's like 14 goals in the Prem and 12 assists, which is just, you know, crazy goal involvement rate. Again, he's been like, you know, top 2 for some top 1 player in the team. You know, he's just been Mr. Consistent. Fell off at the end again. Was it overplaying? Is it just a bad patch? And it wasn't like he was poor. It's just, you know, we're just not, he just wasn't hitting the levels we're used to. It's just about, I guess, protecting him now, because he's just giving me the Jack Wilsheres and the, you know, all the players of old who have just been played into the ground at their youth. You know, again, I think another 3,000 minute season is just too much, you know. So yeah, other than that, we go again, and I just hope he can get his hands on some serious silverware sooner rather than later. But I'm sure he's one player. I just have no concerns about him not showing up. I can't imagine coming back next season and it's like, Saka managed 7 goals and 4 assists. Like, he's past that now. He's in a different echelon.
He loves it too much. He genuinely loves football. You can see he enjoys himself every time he's out there. And unless obviously this Nigeria trip that he's on now, he's there eating fufu and yam and like, we should be getting the same, if not better and more next season.
Definitely, 100%. All right. I mean, I was gonna say, typically Nelson was like right wing, but I know obviously we try to invert. But I'm just going to stick with him anyway. I've been very, very impressed with Reece Nelson this season. I think he's been unfortunate with the injuries. I'm going to give him a 7, but a very solid 7, like a good solid 7, because I think he's taken his opportunities. He's gone up the ranking list in terms of like, he's like first sub now, really, first, second sub. He's come on, he scored obviously important goals, played great role for the minutes he's gotten, and the returns and just the attitude. I think it's just a real, like a semi-redemption arc, because we spoke about him before in our previous video about, you know, he was again another original star boy, you know, the star boy that the other star boys were looking up to. So I think it's great that he's obviously staying, so I will keep him. And yeah, I just hope Arteta has more faith in him, see him start some more Prem games when appropriate, Obviously, we've got FA Cup, we've got League Cup, we've got Champions League now. You know, there should be minutes to go around for everyone, and hopefully him to really show what he can do from the start of the game, and kind of let that confidence come out, because I felt he was, when he did come into the team before, he was just trying to show that I can retain the ball, I can keep it, get the ball, pop it off. But want to see that dribbling, want to see that finishing that we know he has in his locker. So 7 and keep, man.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I'll say 7 and keep. He's we heard during the season that Arteta started calling his subs impactors, was it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
and like you're saying, he's climbed the ranks to being the first impactor. The question with Reiss Nelson is why people were saying, we, as Arsenal fans, we want Reiss to stay because he's good, but for his own good, for his career, he might want to go to somewhere that he can get first team football, and that's his next challenge. And the bar is very high because Saka is the bar. So can you prove through enough, impactful performances, because we know now he can do that, like that you are deserving of a first team goal? Can you display Saka in the team? Massive ask. But that's the next stage for Reiss Nelson. Has to stay fit. To stay fit.
So important.
Injury problems have been his thing over his career, and not really allowed him to kick on, whether he's been at Arsenal or loan moves. So I'm wishing the most for him, because I want him to stay. I want him to prove people wrong. I just love the Hayland conglomerate in the team, and I want him to stay as much as possible. I still get vexed we sold Willock. I'm not gonna lie. The money was good, 40 M's. The money was good.
It was sweet.
But, I feel like Willock could have been something in this team, especially how this team has developed over the last 2 years since he's been gone. Look at the goals and what he does at Newcastle. I know I've gone off on a tangent, but with Xhaka leaving, like someone like Willock doing that, like Willock. But anyway,
I don't know. Now that you mention it, I'm just so surprised that Arteta didn't maybe have the foresight, because you would think that he would have a goal to work towards, and maybe it was like the money was too good, one, and obviously he had an amazing loan spell there, maybe even too good of a loan spell that caused them to make that bid. And it was just that, like, you're right, but I'm not going to lose sleep over you going, etc. But definitely he would be primed to go in and fill in that left eight, as we've spoken about before. But
40 million is nothing to sneeze at. Like, if that money comes in for an academy player that I paid nothing for, I hear it. But like he's I just like the Hell conglomerate. They know what it means to be an Arsenal player and come up through the club, and I want to keep that as much as possible. So Reiss Nelson has to stay. So keep 7 out of 10, and hopefully he can kick on next season.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go on to this one. I think it might be a bit more of a conversation potentially. We're going to talk about Smith Rowe. Now, another injury done. Smith Rowe, I will definitely say keep. I think the talent's too good to not keep. Again, another Haylen Don, as we were just talking about, the conglomerate. I can't really give him anything more than a 5, really. Maybe even just because he was, I don't know if there's some sort of issue with Arteta. We had Ornstein come out and say that he's definitely not going anywhere. But I still think there's question marks, because just because you're not going anywhere doesn't mean you're going to be playing left wing over Martinelli, or you're going to start changing in left 8 and stuff like that. He still needs to show that he's about it. He's another one who shouldn't get a summer holiday. He should be right back in the gym, keeping himself strong, fit, working on his body. Because he's a great player. We've seen he's got end products. He's got the burst of pace. He can dribble. He's got a decent pass on him. I just hope he can stay fit, because he's the sort of trusted depth that we need, and he just wasn't available this season for us at all. And even when he wasn't trusted. He went down the pecking order. He was being given all these useless minutes, coming on 3-0 when we already lost against City, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there. So I think it's the pre-season just a big chance for him to say, look, let me get fit, let me put down the Nando's and just get serious about my football. So keep, and I give him a 5.
Because it's Smith Rowe, I have to give him at least a 6.
Oh my days, bro!
I
What are
love
you
this
doing?
guy.
What are you doing?
Okay, now five is fine because we didn't see much of him at all this season, even when he was available. Smith Rowe's biggest issue is, I think now, especially again talking about the evolution of this team, is what's his position? Where does he play? Is he a left winger? Is he a 10? Is he an 8? Like, we don't know. Ability, he's got bags of it. We know that. It's just, where is he now going to fit in? Can he answer the challenge that Saka answered last season as to working in this 8 position? And, you know, arriving late and scoring goals, I don't think will be an issue for Smith Rowe. It's doing the stuff the other end of the pitch, which, I guess we're yet to see if he can do that. But, you know, paramount for him, like you're saying, is his fitness. He has to stay fit. He can't afford another big injury, because even then it'll be like Arsenal will wash their hands off him, but where will he go to after that? Like, anywhere he does get into after that, they won't really give him a good deal either, because they're waiting for him to get injured again. So, you know, he's almost with the 10 on his back, might be, you know, 2023 Jack Wilshere, like, and I wish it upon him. I want him to make it in this team. I love Martinelli. Love Martinelli, but I'm almost vexed that Martinelli has kind of taken his position. It's difficult. I'm keeping him, of course. I give him a 5 because we just haven't seen much of him at all. But Smith Rowe, we can't keep going to bat for you, bro. Like, it's like a do or die situation over the next season, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, it's definitely, like we said before, we're getting to that place now where we're going to start having to let go of players that we really like, either for injuries or they're just not cutting the mustard anymore. We can't hold on to these guys because, you know, they did this how many seasons ago, you know, and like, bro, we need to get real, but hoping and praying that he can just, you know, start to replicate and be trusted again to perform for us. Yeah. All right. So a couple left. I think these we can kind of one more winger, and then we got the middleman. Technically, Martinelli.
Sensational. Martinelli's a 9. Martinelli is a keep. Martinelli has displaced, like I say, one of my favorites in Smith Rowe. He's went up maybe 2 echelons from whatever he was doing last season to this season. Should be starting for Brazil. I don't know. I mean, I know there's Vinicius there, politics, but like, bro, like, he should be. You have to squeeze him in at this point. Yeah, I don't know if he's their right winger. I know they're gonna probably play Neymar.
You know, it was Anthony Richarlison.
Get out of here.
Neymar's got somewhere.
Yeah, get out of here with all them man there. And Martinelli has to start because he's fantastic. In fact, let them bench him so that his legs are fine. Like, honestly, he has been a revelation this season. The hunger when he came out of the team, because he wasn't really working, because him and Nketiah, we didn't quite mesh. He put Trossard in, he started playing again. He went to another level then. Martinelli's it's a 9. It's a 9. He's been fantastic. He has to stay. He's earned another big contract again this season. Deserved of that. Interesting what to see what he can do next season, and Champions League football for him, like many of these other guys, is going to be it's a new thing, so we're going to see how these boys fare there, but I think he should be right at home. He's been great.
He's been absolute, like, I think if not for Saka, he probably would have been most improved player for me. And it's not that he was dead before, but his level has just been up there, consistent, technically our top goal scorer. He's just been superb on that left wing.
You know what I'll compare it to quickly? You know when you're playing FIFA, right? And say a player is like a 70 or something, and it's like you've just been banging training, and their stats been going up. And the next time you see the player, he's 80. It's like, what happened to 71, 72, 73? Bro, he just jumped. Like, it's mad.
It's different. Like, his end product, he come up with a couple assists as well. He's just been... You know, I feel like at a point, if there was one player who didn't drop off during this run-in, bar obviously the games he missed due to injury, it was Martinelli. He was banging in the goals. He's still attacking players, attacking defenders. He earned the contract, and I think he gets it. I almost kind of treat him like a Hale-end product. I feel like he's been, you know, like he's come up with Smith Rowe with these guys. And, you know, last season, it was between him and Smith Rowe, kind of battling for the left wing. But once Smith Rowe got injured, he said, "Big man, I'm so sorry, but this position is now mine," and he's not letting it go for anyone. I'm expecting more of the same. He's almost even playing with his swagger as well. Like he's not like it's not. I wouldn't say it's cockiness, but he's just got such a confidence with him. And I think now we've gotten into Champions League, he's like, I'm ready to go again to show you guys what I'm about. He just doesn't stop. And right now, he's like in the list of players who you couldn't even pay me to sell him. You know, he's a massive keep and he's a massive 9. Yeah, I love the guy so much.
He's been great. He has been great.
All right, so I guess before we get to the last 2 main strikers, we're going to do the little hybrid in Trossard, who I think is a massive shout for potential January signing of the season. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I think the 3/4 of the 6 months that he was here, I think he was superb. To get 10 assists from January is, you know, nothing short of outstanding. Especially when he plays down the middle, like we spoke about in our previous video. His link-up play, he doesn't lose the ball, seems to be on the left. Not that he's bad, obviously, but I just think he likes to come interior, so we lose what Martinelli gives us. And we've obviously just waxed lyrical about him. But I think he's been a great addition in his prime years. You know, he's going to give us his best years technically. He's going to be looking forward to Champions League football. He's just a great rotation option. He appears trusted by Arteta. I've got no problems. I won't say I was skeptical of him coming at the time. I think it was just obviously because we had the Mudryk fallout. It was just a bit like, oh, we've just gone for that Donny at Brighton. But he's come in and he's been superb. He's been great. Probably played in a lot of my favourite games this season, and just was always like a standout in some way. I think we've seen him fall off a little bit, so we're kind of seeing maybe the weaknesses or the areas where maybe he still needs and can improve. But overall, I'm just really happy with the addition, and I think he's just going to be a great squad member / even starter. You know, he was the first guy in when Jesus was out, or when Martinelli needs a rest, he's the first one in. So yeah, brilliant guy.
Yeah, with Trossard, for me, I just feel like we needed a left winger, especially after the whole Mudryk saga. And I thought, the guy plays in the Prem, he's really good. Let's get him in and stuff like that. And he's proved that he is a lot more capable than just being a backup left winger. Like at times, he you know, when Jesus came back in, he pinched the position from Martinelli completely. We've seen him down the middle. We've seen him on the right. Like, I'm very impressed. Again, really good business. Like 20-odd million, 28 million, whatever they said it was. And man are paying 80 mil for Mudryk, and we nearly got drawn out. I can't lie, we nearly got drawn out in and it's not to say that obviously he could have come to us and been undervetted and flourished anyway. But like, it's like, you don't have to really spend that money, because what we needed was not another young player that was going to contest with Martinelli's position. We needed someone that kind of realizes, right, you're going to get minutes, but you might not only be the first choice. We've got positions for you across all the front three. We want you more than anything to fill in, you know, and you will get that opportunity, and you're ready to hit the ground running because you know the Premier League and all of that kind of stuff. He's been very, very, very good, and a top signing in January. Look at the numbers that you're saying for what he's done since January. He's a definite keep. And for me, the sample size is small. We can't do halves. I'll relax and give him an 8. But I mean, for the sample size, although small, he has been terrific. Like you said, it's only been maybe the odd game here and there. He hasn't really shown up. I just remember one against Brighton, his old team. But other than that, he's been pretty much faultless. But 8 and keep for Trossard.
Yeah, I think 8's definitely on the money with him. Hopefully just more of the same. All right, we come to the last 2. Nketiah. Edward Nketiah. I always thought it was just Eddie, you know.
No, big Edward.
And Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. I think, let me go Nketiah first. I think it's a sell. I just don't think he's adding enough for us. And he's got a lot of the traits of a Jesus, but I just don't think we need like Jesus Mark II in the team anymore. I don't think Arteta really rates him. Again, looking at the sub appearances, and he only used him when he needed him, when he was injured. And then as soon as Jesus came back and hasn't played amazing, he hasn't come back in or anything like that. I think the what's it called? The contract last season was a bit of a formality because we weren't sure on our striker situation at all. It was kind of like, well, playing it safe, giving him a bit of the bumper contract, and he's an academy product. We haven't paid anything for him, so that's not too difficult to do. But yeah, I think I'd say sell, to be honest. I think we could get some good bucks for him. I think easy, you know, England under 21 top goal scorer. He can do it in the Prem. I think he will do it at a decent level if he gets a run as like a first team proper starter. Get about 35 million for him. Maybe, I think in a promising market, maybe towards the 20, but still, again, 20, you know, when you've not spent anything, still prof. Yeah, I think he's had a decent season. Don't get me wrong, he had a really good season when he came in. He had a good few games, you know, notably the goals against West Ham and United, Brighton as well, played well. Obviously the link-up play with Martinelli was questionable, but he did his job. But as per when these squad players, you know, you see where their deficiencies are as the games go on, as they begin to settle, when teams begin to clock onto what their play style is like. So I don't mind it in Nketiah, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like there's an opportunity to take someone out and put someone else in who is going to be able to give us a different dimension. So I'll give Nketiah, again, he'd be a perfect candidate for a 6.5. I'm going to be nice. No, I'm not. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. Yeah.
I'm going to give Nketiah a 7. When called upon, we all shat our pants and thought, yeah, we're done out here. Like, Nketiah didn't let us down. Nketiah did not let us down. And
maybe I was
like,
harsh.
For what he is, he came in and he plugged a hole. Like, until, you know, it wasn't working anymore, we gave Trossard a goal, he got injured, then Jesus came back, and then he returned to his regular substitute, you know, profile. Like, Nketiah did the job he was designed to do. Like, so really and truly, I mean, I feel like in general, maybe because it's the contract, maybe because he's got number 14 on his back, people expect so much from Nketiah. Like, he's not Thierry Henry. Like, I don't
have to tell me that.
He's not Henry. He's not Drogba. He is Eddie Nketiah, and he's fantastic at what he does. He's one of these people that, like he said it in last season, and he backed himself. Don't just give me 10 minutes off the bench and expect me to score a hat-trick and save you from a loss. You see what I mean? Like, me a run of games and I'm gonna hit the floor running. I remember when at one point in the season he had scored more goals than Jesus.
Yes, very true.
5 appearances or so he had. So
yeah,
I mean, for me, it's a lack of sample size. Again, he didn't play a lot. There was some dud games in there, which I don't think he gave us a lot, but you know, everyone had those. It's a 7. He done what he was supposed to do. He done what he said on the tin. Like, and what he's getting judged for is that we want more out of him. I think we if we want more out of him, we should definitely be screaming that we want more out of our 45 million pound striker. That's only fair. Like, running around and pressurizing guys and stuff, it's brilliant, but you know, we're not paying the big bucks for you to just run around and, you know, press. We need a goal scorer as well. And if our bench striker is scoring more than you, yes, you were injured, like, we need to talk about it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I hear it.
So, but I'm not judging. I'm just creating the case for fans that are, I think, particularly harsh on Eddie. Now, I'm going to keep Eddie, but at the same time, this is probably his last season, realistically.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Come 2024, we're going to probably be looking, you know, stylistically, can we now, you know, striker's not necessarily our focus right now. If he sees one in the market and he can grab one for a good price, he probably grabs one, in it. But I feel like next season would be somewhere, again, we're now looking at striker position, how can we improve upon that position as well? And that's when, you know, it probably looks like we lose Balogun this season. Nketiah probably is the one that we lose next season if he doesn't kick on, doesn't add more to his game this year, doesn't score those goals when given the opportunity this year. Then I think he'll go. So keep for now, but I would say again that the clock is ticking on Nketiah if we don't see the evolution of him within this squad.
I think that's pretty well rounded. I feel a little bit harsh now because you were right. I think like when we needed him in the big games, he did come up trumps. So I'll stick with my guns, obviously, but I feel like maybe I had a bit of lapse of memory in terms of his overall season. But yeah, we move. Last but not least, it's the 45 million striker, Gabriel Jesus. Now this one is tricky. I mean, I get it out of the way. I'd keep. I'm going to give him. I'm going to be harsh as well. I'm going to give him a 7. I think he's like, you know what? I'd say he was an 8 prior to his injury and a 7, maybe even a 6 when he came back from injury. I think the thing what separates him from Nketiah is just his all-round game and his doggedness. When he gave us a new lease of life up top. I remember when we watched the first game against Crystal Palace, this guy was doing stepovers, past guys. Oh my, I've never been so excited. This guy was like, he couldn't stop him. It's just that, again, as per with maybe not an Arsenal thing, but just it's the end product. It's just not there like we would want it to be. We were so happy with everything else he was providing because he would pretty much dribble 3 guys, shoot, keeper saves it, maybe someone gets a tap in or, you know, a little kerfuffle, someone else gets the goal. And he was just doing that. But then he had that Giroud-like goal drought when he couldn't even buy a goal. And it's not that his overall play wasn't great. And that was what was keeping a lot of Arsenal fans happy. But now we got to the business end of the season and now we've forgotten about the dribbling and all of that stuff. Even more so, he hasn't really been doing that. And it just doesn't seem like it's enough now. People are saying, I want my striker to score, you know, and I can't really fault them. I mean, I think we were lucky that our goals spread out really nicely-ish across the front 4. And he was out for a couple of months as well. We don't know what that kind of did to his overall season. It was a big injury. But we definitely need more. He's kind of hitting par for what he normally produces at City without any injuries. So it makes me think as a starting 9, he should really be pushing to the high teens at a minimum if he's fit the whole season. But I definitely think we need a plan B. So I think maybe I'll be a bit cheeky because he's the last one. I'll say 8 post injury and then 6 post injury. So yeah, 8 pre, 6 post. But yeah, I think we just need more in terms of goals. His overall play, I can't fault him, you know, on his day. But yeah, I just his finishing, we weren't seeing any of those good finishes against Leicester. He's just kind of like more of a poacher than I thought, you know. But yeah, we probably need a new striker at some point.
Yeah, I think with Jesus, again, I hope Arsenal fans aren't kidding themselves. We knew what we signed. We knew we didn't sign Haaland. We knew we signed a man that's capable of scoring goals, a fantastic presser of the ball, a fantastic dribbler of the ball. We knew we signed a forward player. And he's coming, I would say, for decent money for his ability and a man of his accolades. He came in for decent money. 45 million ain't loads. He hit the floor running, hit the ground running, scored some goals. It went quiet for a long period before he got injured. But it's the play and everything else he brought us that lifted the team, which is almost invaluable sort of thing. Like, it's almost like that's what we paid for more so than goals. Listen, Jesus is a great player. It's for him now to prove he's got more goals in him. And I don't know, do you know how much Premier League goals he scored this season?
I think he got to 10. I think he got to 10,
Yeah, that's got to be 15 minimum next season.
Yeah, definitely.
I know he does a lot of other stuff in his game. It's got to be 15 goals because ultimately you're a striker and that's what you'll die on. Otherwise, you'll be pushed out to the wing, and my man will go sign another striker. Or Tyson will go sign another striker, and ultimately you left Man City because you didn't want to be a winger. You wanted to be the main man. So show that you can put the ball in the back of the net, because Lord knows you had those opportunities this season. It's not to say them opportunities never came. You had opportunities several times, sitters, and then you get into the stage of I'm trying so hard to score that I'm just scoring.
I hear it.
It is, fam. He had the chances to score. So like, we need 15 Premier League goals as a minimum next season. Like, we're looking at man that have that in the Premier League now, easy, playing for mid-table clubs. So like that's your next challenge, as well as still maintaining everything else you do. Obviously, staying fit. But yeah, Jesus he's almost been transformative to this club and how we're playing at the minute. I keep Jesus. I'm giving him 8. I'm giving him 8 because I think, like I said, the play outside of the goals, the play and what he's brought this team has been so much. He's part of the, we talk how highly of Martinelli's success. A lot of that is owed to Jesus. So yeah, 8 for me. Keep, but you need more goals, big man.
100%.